everyone, welcome to the Yarn Necklaces channel. I'm Janelle, and today I'm going to show you how to make a choker necklace. Now, if you're new to my channel, I focus on jewelry making and crochet tutorials. So if you're into that, make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so that you'll be able to see the next video. So for the choker necklace, I'm going to show you 4 different ways you can make the necklace. And the first 2 ways are just the yarn. And then the second 2 ways are also going to be crocheted. So if you don't know how to crochet, you can still make the first 2 ways. So let's gather our supplies and get started. The supplies you're going to need are some trellis ladder yarn. You'll only need a couple of yards, probably like 4 or 5 yards, not a whole lot of yarn, so you don't need a full ball of yarn. I do have 4 colors out here because I'm going to make the choker necklace, each of the choker necklaces in a different color, so you can kind of see the differences. And to finish them off, you'll want some ribbon crimps or cord end. So I'll show you what these look like close up. This is a cord end, and it has an opening here where you can use this glue. This is Beacon 527 glue, and this is good for making jewelry with. And you will put the glue in here and then finish it off that way. Or you can use ribbon crimps, which I prefer. This is one of the ribbon crimps I have, and you basically just fold these closed over the yarn. Or you can use these type of ribbon crimps, and these are a little bit trickier to use, but they look nice at the end. And you'll also want to use a extender chain, and this is not necessary, but it helps for getting the perfect fit for your choker necklace. And if you'd like, you can even put a little charm or a crystal on the choker necklace when you're done, so that's just an option. Also, you want to use a ruler to measure out how long your neck is, and that way you can get the perfect fit. You'll need a couple pieces of tape, so that way you can tie the knot correctly, 2 pliers, a scissors, and a crochet hook. And this crochet hook is an F5 3.75 millimeter. And this is a little bit smaller hook than we're normally using, but I want those chains to be a little bit tighter. To get started, you're going to take your yarn and we're going to measure it out to 20 inches. So you got 12 here, and then do another 8. And then you're going to take this long piece, which is 20 inches, and just fold it back and forth 6 times. So you want 6 strands. So just fold it. There's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you can cut it on the end. And then you want to tie a knot towards the end. Just slide it up so it's towards the end. And then you want to take your ribbon crimp and put your yarn over the ribbon crimp, the part that's underneath the knot, and kind of flatten it down. And then what you're going to do is bend these down, these 2 little flaps here. So you're going to take your pliers and first kind of squeeze them together a little bit, so they already have a slight bend to them. And then you're going to flatten one down, and then you're going to flatten the other one down on top of it. And then you just want to take it and squeeze it together with both hands so it's really tight. And there's a little pointy metal part right here. It kind of keeps the ribbon in. Just make sure that's laying flat. And then cut your ends here. Then what you want to do is measure it out so that you have the right size. My neck is about 14 inches, so we're going to do 14 inches. Start with the end of your ribbon crimp. And 14 right there. So we want to tie a knot right about here. I'm going to take a piece of tape and put that right here so I know where to tie my knot. So tie that knot as close to the piece of tape as you can, and then you can cut that piece of tape off. And then underneath the knot, you'll want to place the other ribbon crimp, doing the same thing as you did before. Make sure all your yarn is inside of there. And squeeze it just a little bit. And then fold it down. And then make sure those yarn strands are in there. And fold it down again. And watch out for that little pointy thing there and press that down. And you can cut your ends. And now we'll want to finish off our choker necklace. We'll take one of our jump rings and we're going to use both of our pliers. You're going to slip the jump ring through the loop here. And then take one of our lobster clasps and put it through here and just push it closed. And then you do the same thing on the other side. Instead of using the lobster clasp, you'll use your extender chain. And if you don't have an extender chain or you don't want one, you can just put just the jump ring on there, and you can use that to use the lobster clasp to clip it on. Do the same thing and then push it closed. Also, when you're pushing it closed, you'll want to make sure that it is very tight right here where the opening is, because you don't want it to slip through the ribbon crimp here. So both of them are very tightly closed. So there's one necklace. This is our first one we're making. And you can just close it. You can use any of these chains to close it, so it can be different lengths. Now the second one we're going to do is similar, but we are actually going to use 6 strands again, and we're going to braid them together. And we're going to measure them out to 24 inches this time. So we'll do 12 and 12, and then we'll do the same thing. Measure out 6 strands. And there's 6. Take our scissors and cut it here. And then we'll start out the same way, where you're going to tie a knot at the top. Then you'll want to make these ends open, so we're just going to cut them in the middle here, so they're all opened up. And this one, you'll want to lay this on a surface and put a piece of tape right here. And tape it down, and then we're going to separate these into 3 different sections using 2 strands each. Once we do that, we're just going to braid it together. And when you braid it, you want to do a loose braid. So this is how I'm doing my braid. And you want it to go as flat as possible. So just braid it lightly. No need to pull on it really hard. And that loose braid will make like a lacy look to it and looks really pretty when you're finished. And you can just keep going with this till you get to the almost to the end. And now that I'm almost to the end, I'm going to take this off and measure it. See how we did here. That's 12 inches. And I have about 15 and a half. So that's probably about where you want it because you're going to want to tie a knot onto the braid. So let's measure that one more time. So 12 inches. So I want it about here. So I'm going to put a little piece of tape here. So that way I know where to knot it at. Or not, and you can either slide it off, sometimes it'll slide off, or cut it with your scissors. And then for this one, we are also going to use the same type of ribbon crimps. And there's that second necklace. So that is our second way of making a choker necklace with the trellis ladder yarn. And you can see how lacy it looks. I think this is my favorite style because of the look that it gives. It's very pretty. And the next one we're going to do, we are going to crochet. So we're going to take our yarn and we're going to crochet 3 strands. Do your slip knot and just do a chain crochet. And you're going to chain until you get to the length of your necklace. So I'm going to chain to 14 inches. Just make sure you don't miss any of these strands. You don't want to like pull up on this strand and then have that strand loose. So it's hard to get back in there. Okay, and then just keep going. Just pull the full piece of yarn. Let's measure and see how much we have. We have 12, and we we went over. So let's go pull out to about here. And then we can cut this and pull this through, and then you just want to pull that tight and it forms a knot. So pull that one tight. And you'll just want to make 2 more of those. So I have all 3 strands of my yarn made up here, and the plan was to use these ribbon crimps, these here, to finish off this necklace, but I tried that and I decided it was too crazy trying to get those 3 strands to come together and try to get inside of there. So let's try something a little bit easier than that. So I'm going to use these cord ends, and what I want to do is tie a knot on the end here, kind of line these up like that, and then tie a knot. And try to tie it towards the end. If you go over the chain part, that's okay, but try not to go over too much because the knot's going to end up being too big. So about there is good. And then just kind of pull it tight. And then you want to trim that. And then you want to make sure all these 3 strands are even, because since this is going to be a choker necklace, you want them all to be the same length. So they're pretty close to being even. That looks pretty good. I'm going to try and tie my knot like right on top of this part right here. So let's do another knot. That looks good. Cut it here. And make sure these will fit over here, I do believe. Yeah. We can use our glue. This is our Beacon 527 glue. And make sure you use this in a well ventilated area because this stuff smells really strong. But it works really good too, so just be careful. And we're going to fill our cord end just about halfway. You don't want to fill it all the way up because you'll have glue like leaking out everywhere. It gets really messy. So I know you probably can't see that, but it's about halfway up. And then just stick it in here. Stick your knot in there. And then you just have to wait till it dries. It takes about maybe 3 hours to dry pretty good. You could probably use it, you know, use your necklace after 2, but I would wait at least 3. We're going to do the same method for this one. Put our glue in there. And it's as simple as that. And it's starting to come out. Okay. Then you'll just wait for it to dry. And once it's dry, you can put your jump rings and your lobster clasp on there along with your chain if you wanted to put the extender chain on there. So I'm going to set that aside and we'll start on number 4. So the number 4 necklace, we are also going to crochet 3 chains. I've already had these crocheted up, so that way we can get straight to how to make this. So these are 17 inches, and keep in mind I'm doing this for a 14-inch neck. So about 17 inches for each of these 3, and I am going to take the ends and tie a knot over those. About the same way I did on the last one. You want it about right where the knots are. So about right there is good. Then you're going to take this and tape it down. And then we're going to braid these chains together, kind of like how we did with just the single strand of yarn, but this time it's going to be a chain braid. And this one you'll also want to braid loosely. You don't want to make it too tight. And it makes it go a little faster too if you braid it loosely. So just keep going with that till you get to the end. And now that I'm about at the end, I want to take this out and measure it. So we're at 12. Let's see, 12 inches there. And it's a little short, but that's okay because I'm going to knot it about here. So 12 inches. And it'll stretch a little bit too, so if it's a little short, that's okay. So I'm going to knot it right about here where these end, or at least the first one ends. Then we're going to finish it off the same way as we did number 3 and just put our glue inside here and put it over our knot. So we're going to cut these. And then you'll want to wait for that one to dry also. But this is how it looks when it's finished. So that one's nice and pretty too. Nice and lacy. I like how the braided look turns out. And also a little bit stretchy too, so that helps. So the last thing I want to show you guys is you can put a charm or a crystal on there if you want. This one, I think this would look pretty with a little crystal here, I think. What you just need to do is get one of your jump rings and put it through here, and you'll want to put the jump ring over the full amount of your necklace so you don't pull any strands, and then just close it up. And then you have a little crystal right there. And then you would just do the same thing for your starfish. I was thinking this one looked really pretty. Since it's such a beachy color, it would look really pretty with the starfish. I'm actually not going to put it on because I'm still waiting for that to dry, but you can kind of get the idea there. Those are the 4 necklaces we made. We have the braided crochet, just the crochet with the 3 strands, just the strands braided, and also just the yarn strand. That's it. So let me know which one you like the best. I think I'm still liking this one the best. I just like that real lacy look. What do you guys think? So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Definitely give me a thumbs up if you like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more tutorials. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.